I, 23 male, was close to my older sister, 29. Growing up, I idolized her. When I came out as gay at 14, she was super supportive, but everything changed when she met her now husband during her senior year of college. He grew up in a very traditional Christian household. I should mention that despite being supportive when I came out, my sister has always been neutral about politics. After she met her boyfriend, that's when I noticed our relationship started to change. When I would talk about guys, my sister would get visibly uncomfortable and change the subject. One time when her fiance was on FaceTime with us, I mentioned a Tinder date with a guy, and she told him I was just joking. We grew apart as I got older. I moved to California for college. She stayed in Alabama. We still called each other, but I stopped talking about my love life with her. So when my sister's boyfriend proposed, I was happy for her, though I hadn't gotten to know him super well. They set a date for a year later. A few months after, I met my current boyfriend of 8 months. Coincidentally, I discovered that my boyfriend's birthday was also the day of my sis's wedding. We discussed this in advance and decided to celebrate his birthday on a different day. 3 weeks ago, I told my sis that I was planning on bringing my boyfriend to her wedding. She told me earlier that I was allowed to bring a +1. She knows about my boyfriend. So I brought my boyfriend with me during the rehearsal dinner the night before the wedding. At dinner, I noticed my sister seemed somewhat distant. At one point, I can see her fiance looking toward my boyfriend and me and whispering, "They're going to make me and my family uncomfortable." After dinner, my sister pulled me aside and told me she didn't think I should bring my boyfriend to the wedding. I asked her why, and she said that they were having a traditional wedding in a church, and she just wanted things to be a certain way. I was pretty offended, and I asked her why she had a problem with me being gay suddenly. She said it was fine that I was gay, but I shouldn't force it on everyone else. That was the last straw. I told my boyfriend, and he was very hurt. I was also upset, so I told my boyfriend we weren't going to the wedding. We decided to go home and go out for his birthday instead. I felt guilty for missing my sister's wedding, and I know I'm not blameless here. We were close for so long that it hurts regardless of what she said to me. But I felt so invalidated during that rehearsal dinner, and I decided that couldn't be undone. My sister hasn't spoken to me since the wedding. I was supposed to be a groomsman, and I texted her the morning of the wedding to tell her I wasn't coming. She didn't reply. I do think I owe her an apology, but she also owes me one. Is it time to cut her off as a whole, or should I be the one to apologize? Not the idiot. Your sister and her husband do not accept you and your partner for who you are. Instead, they want you to fit into their perfect picture of what the wedding should look like. They're pretty intolerant. For her to say, fine that I was gay, but I shouldn't force it on everyone else, is ridiculous. How is being there forcing it on everyone else? I highly doubt you were going to ask any of the guests to have intimacy at the wedding or reception. Oh no. God forbid the straights see two men in a loving and committed relationship. Just the sight will force them to be gay too. The shock and horror. Doesn't anyone know that gayness is contagious? If being in a relationship with a person of the same gender is pushing it onto others, why is it okay to push a straight relationship onto others? Is nobody allowed to be in a relationship now? Ugh, people suck. It is so frustrating. Everyone's the idiot here. Sister for pandering to her fiance's nasty behavior, but you for texting her on the morning of the wedding that you weren't attending. I get it. She hurt you. She hurt your boyfriend. But you could and should have had a conversation with her before the wedding. Hard disagree. He didn't owe her that. OP, you're entirely blameless here. They gave you a +1 and then tell you that your boyfriend can't come because they don't want you rubbing the gay in their faces at their big church wedding. Sis chose sides. Sis drew a line knowing that you'd be on the other side of it. Sis needs to own being a bigot just as much as her new husband and his family, and maybe OP can go to his sister's next wedding instead, hopefully with someone who's not such an idiot. My wife is currently 8 months pregnant, and we are very, very excited. We'll be having a boy. My sister Mia just broke up with her now ex-fiance 1 month ago. In the past, she has claimed dibs on a certain name for her future kid. Let's say it's Jake. There's no real significance to the name to her other than she likes it. Anyway, so my wife and I are thinking of boys' names, and my wife always loved Jake as a name for a boy. So much so that it's the front runner for her. We have a 2 yes, 1 no rule for names, and there have been many potential ones that one of us didn't love, so we had to rule them out. Jake is fine to me. It wouldn't have been my first choice, but I do like it, and it's nice to have some alignment between us. I told my mother when she was over at our house, and she said that Mia has always wanted that name too. I said, yeah, I know, but my wife loves it as well, and we're actually having a kid very soon, where Mia's single and has said that she's been swearing off dating for a while, which I understand having an engagement fall through. So who knows if she'll even have kids? If there'll even be a boy if she does, and if her future partner would also be on board with that name. Well, at some point, my mom tells Mia our plans, and she freaks out. Accused my wife, who liked the name before she met Mia, and me, of stealing her name and all this. I point out that it's just a name, and nobody can have rights to it. She then swears she's going to use it, and I pointed out that she's not pregnant, not dating, and there's no way to know if she'd even have the chance to ever use it, given her situation. She says that I was shaming her for being single and being a name thief. She's still very, very angry. Am I the idiot here, or is she being unreasonable? I have no issue with Mia using the same name, should she ever have a son and a partner on board with the name. They'd most likely have different last names, and even if not, it wouldn't bother me at all. It feels dumb to shoot down a name my wife loves, and I like, just because one day my sister may have a boy and ends up using it. You are the idiot. The name has no personal significance to you or your wife. You've known for years that your sister hopes to use it someday. That alone to me would put the name off limits. There are millions of names out there. It's not worth upsetting your sister. Setting a boundary around this one name costs you almost nothing, but it means a lot to your sister. Sometimes in life you make small sacrifices like this. But he said his wife always liked the name. If she had pictured this name before having a baby, or knowing the sister liked the name, then why is she the one to be forced not to use the name? Flip it around. What if you like a name that you'd want to name your future child, but it turns out your partner's sister has the same name picked out? How would you feel to be the one who isn't allowed to use the name? If you were the one about to have a baby and not then, you wouldn't think that's fair. Essentially, he's being asked to deny his wife the right to use the name, even though they both liked it. I don't see why the sister's preferences should come before OP's wife from OP's perspective. He's not even stopping his sister from using the name. Sister's the only one who wants to keep the name exclusively for future pregnancies. Agree. You are not the idiot. You can't claim a name. You have an actual baby coming, and she has no intention of getting pregnant anytime soon, nor can she guarantee a boy or that her future or currently non-existent partner even likes that name. She's just mad about being single and taking it out on you. So my niece Carmen had a tween birthday last week. A few months ago, she texted me that she'd like a pair of Nikes for her birthday, which cost around $150. So I budgeted $150 for it. 3 weeks ago, she called me and asked, instead of Nikes, can I split her gift so that she and her neighborhood friend, Conan, could both have something? Carmen and Conan share a birthday and are best friends. Conan's mother told him ahead of time she probably wouldn't be able to get him a birthday present this year due to having to prioritize car repairs. So Carmen wanted to share her gift so that he wouldn't have nothing for his birthday. I asked her if she was sure, and she said yes. So I asked her what she would like, and she said she and Conan really wanted some Crocs. Apparently Crocs and charms are all the rage in their school nowadays. So I got sizes, favorite colors, and whatnot. I got to work. I was able to get 2 pairs of Crocs, 2 pairs of Croc flip-flops, and 2 packs of anime Croc charms, all for under $120, thanks to stacked coupons and sales. I even threw in some anime hoodies and only went over budget by $7, which isn't bad. I should note that my sister, Carmen's mother, is low income, and they live in low-income housing. So my gift is usually the big-ticket item, and my sister always gets something much smaller. That being said, I also don't make a lot of money, so I didn't want to just get some Crocs. I wanted to stretch that $150 as far as it would go. Their birthday comes and I gift them to them, and they're ecstatic, super happy. I spent like 45 minutes talking about all the different charms in the characters from shows. I happily listened while they chatted and talked, and then we had takeout that I ordered and cupcakes prepared by Conan's mom, and we watched anime all day. It also turned out that Conan's mom did manage to get both kids something small that Conan picked out for both of them. They both said it was the best birthday ever, LMAO. Conan's mother took me aside privately, profusely thanked me, and said she'll pay me back as soon as possible. I tell her no need because this was a gift from Carmen to Conan, not for me. I asked her to just be good to my niece when she comes around. She asked if she can thank me by cooking dinner, so I'll be coming over for dinner sometimes. Later that day, my sister sees the gift and is irate. She had planned for me to buy Carmen the Nikes as her school shoes and is upset with me because Crocs aren't real shoes. I asked if they weren't allowed to wear Crocs to school, and she said they were. So I said she could just wear them to school. It doesn't seem like a big deal to me. The kids are happy and had a great birthday. That's all that should be important. She absolutely disagrees and is still upset with me days later. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Your niece will probably need sneakers for gym class or colder months, but that's not your responsibility. If your sister was hoping you'd provide Nikes, she should have told you so. And even then, it wouldn't be an obligation. I think what you did was excellent. OMG. I'm really impressed with Carmen, and she's the real hero here. Not all kids would sacrifice for others in this way. She picked up these great values from OP and Conan's mom. Or maybe it's just innate. It doesn't seem like the mom taught her this, since she's fixated on expensive sneakers. Get a utility pair on sale for $30 and be proud of your kid. Don't ruin the joy of this generous act. My girlfriend and her family have some snobby habits. They don't drink tea from tea bags. She insists on drinking loose leaf tea, and she brings a tea set to my apartment so she can make tea she likes. I just boil hot water and stick a tea bag in it, which is not good enough for her. She buys expensive things and won't shop at Zara, Old Navy, or Walmart, where I like to shop, but she also won't buy things with logos on them. Instead, she'll shop for hours, go home empty-handed, and say they're all wrong. Really? Everything in the entire mall is not suitable for her. I find it very snobby. Everything needs to be made from scratch. All her food, including mayo and bread, is from scratch. Her whole family is this way. And when I went over for the holidays, her mom made food she was cooking from 8 a.m. till dinner. Everyone then wears fancy clothes, and they have a differently shaped glass for every type of drink served. Even her 90-something's grandma's dressed to the nines, even though it's a family gathering. This one she hates. She always puts pizza on a plate when she eats it. I take off the lid and split the pizza onto that, so I don't have to do the dishes. And she hates it. She calls it living like an animal, and always gets a plate and puts one slice on it at a time. Food is always on plates, and she refuses to stand while eating, or even eat ice cream while walking around. She doesn't want to be seen without her hair done and dressed well. She doesn't wear lots of makeup, but she always insists she must wear some, even if visiting with a buddy or my parents, who she already knows. We argued last week because she insisted she had to clean the apartment for her friend who was coming over with her boyfriend. They've been friends for years, and she still deep cleaned everything and washed her dog, so she said she'd skip going to the sports game I was looking forward to. So I had to go to the bar alone, and I was pretty angry, and we had a fight about it before her friend arrived. I called her and her family snobby, because who cares what her apartment looks like for a longtime friend? By the way, it's clean already, and no one would think it's messy, but she insists it's respect to make her apartment look nice, and inviting her to my apartment looking like a pigsty makes her want to leave. My place is a bit messy sometimes, but it's not bad at all, and I think she's just snobby, expecting things to look perfect. So am I the idiot for calling my girlfriend and her family snobby? You are the idiot. Your girlfriend and her family are cultured. You can't deal with it. You're out of your league. Why are you two even together? And why is it all about you? Why does she have to go to sports with you or to the bar with you? You should expand your horizons to find a girlfriend with whom you can identify. Dude, you can learn a lot from this woman if you let her teach you. Maybe your ways are the problem here, not hers. I can imagine the story she'd be writing about you, how you have no manners, no appreciation for anything beyond the mundane. Your approach to life is so different from hers. It's going to take a miracle for it to work. She has standards. If OP can't stand to wash one plate, yeah, you are the idiot. Clearly her standards could use some work. Look at who she's dating. OP, perhaps you need to find a different girlfriend because you don't appreciate your current one or her family. She's not a snob at all, and you both might be happier with different people. My girlfriend's family loves sea fishing, and her uncle and dad have a boat, and they take tourists out on it. So on days they're off, we'll all go on the boat and fish and drink. My girlfriend enjoys things like catching lobster, crabs, and shrimp. Her family never wastes food, and most have a freezer full of seafood for a barbecue or a dinner, so they can pull something out and cook it up. My sister back home thinks I'm living the life and never helping her out because my girlfriend's post on Instagram are on a boat or eating lobster or something. But my girl does enjoy cooking, so that's what we eat most nights. It became an issue when my girlfriend's family had a big lobster bake for her grandma's birthday. It was BOL, bring your own lobster, and the family had a good time. My sister showed the pics to my mom and grandma, showing how much money everyone spends on lobster and throwing a party of thousands of dollars while my family sits in poverty. Not really, they always had food on the table. I tried explaining that many people in my girlfriend's family love to fish and work in that industry for tourists, so it's not like they pay for all of the food. My sister, mom, and grandma had been going through old photos and making crappy comments to the point that my girlfriend and her family blocked them on social media. So it's turned into this huge fight where everyone thinks I'm choosing my girlfriend over my family when I feel like my sister started drama for no reason whatsoever. Not the idiot. What does she want? For you to ship her fresh shellfish? Won't be so cheap when you add dry ice and overnight shipping. Your family's being jealous, petty, and generally ridiculous. So you do well to block them on social as well. Maybe not seeing pictures of you living your life will get them to simmer down a bit. If your family can't understand the difference, your girlfriend's family working in the industry and having access to seafood by working for it, versus them sitting on their butts and buying thousands worth of stuff because they're drowning in money, they're not very bright and have nasty personalities on top of that. You can drop off a box of stinkfish to even it out. LOL. Honestly, a pet peeve for me is when people want others to be as miserable as they are. No one's entitled to suffer with you. No one has a right to control your happiness. Your girlfriend and her family are not flaunting anything either. It's a celebration. But your sister's starting a bunch of drama to try and guilt you into giving her money. Time to go no contact with her.